Okay, so you're thinking about getting into firearms in Canada, eh?
Could be a bit of a confusing process, to be honest.
It can be, yeah. Lots of rules and regulations and licenses and courses and
Exactly, but that's why we're here, right? To make it all a bit easier to understand.
that's right. We're going to deep dive into the world of firearms licensing in Canada. Specifically, we're going to talk about the PL and the RPL.
Your tickets to firearm ownership.
Exactly. And to help us with this, we've got some great info from the BC Firearms Academy.
Mm-hmm. They've got locations all over the place, too, which is super convenient.
Yeah, definitely handy. So let's start with the PL. What does PL even stand for?
PL stands for Possession and Acquisition License.
Possession and Acquisition License.
Yep.
So what does that mean?
Basically, it's the license you need in Canada to buy or own any kind of, well, non-restricted firearm.
Non-restricted firearms. What does that mean?
So think your typical rifles and shotguns, that kind of thing.
Okay, so the PL lets you buy, possess, and even transport these non-restricted firearms.
Yeah, exactly. Though you always have to follow the specific rules and regulations, of course.
Right, of course.
Like, a PL doesn't just automatically mean you can use a firearm anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Like hunting and sport shooting. There are rules around those.
Exactly.
Eh,
Always got to be safe and responsible.
Absolutely. Now, what if someone wants to own, say, a handgun? What do they need?
A handgun would fall under restricted firearms.
Okay.
And for those, you need what's called an RPAL.
An RPAL.
Uh-huh. Restricted Possession and Acquisition License.
Restricted Possession and Acquisition License. Got it. So the RPL is specifically for restricted firearms.
Yeah, things like handguns and certain semi-automatic rifles.
And I'm assuming the RPL comes with even more rules.
Oh, for sure. Way more strict regulations around restricted firearms.
Like what?
Well, for example, the storage requirements for restricted firearms are a lot stricter,
Makes sense.
and transporting them. You can really only do that to approved ranges or gunsmiths.
So,
Pretty limited.
yeah, definitely more limited than non-restricted. Okay, I think we've got a good handle on what the PAL and RPL are, but how do you actually get them?
Good question.
What are the requirements?
Well, first off, you got to be at least 18 years old.
Okay, that makes sense.
Makes sense. And you got to pass a safety course.
A safety course.
Yeah. For the PLL, it's the Canadian Firearms Safety Course.
Oh, okay. What's that like?
The CFSC. Well, it covers a lot of important stuff, like safe handling practices, storage, the laws around firearms, all that good stuff.
Sounds pretty thorough.
It is, but it's really all about making sure people know how to be responsible firearm owners.
And for the RPL, there's a different course.
Yeah, for the RPL, you need to take the CFSC and then an additional course called the Canadian Restricted Firearms Safety Course.
So 2 courses for the RPAL.
That's right. The CRFSC is more in-depth and focuses specifically on restricted firearms.
I see. So it's like a step up from the CFSC.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, these courses sound pretty intense. Where can someone even take them?
Well, that's the great thing about BC Firearms Academy. Yeah, they offer both the CFSC and the CRFSC.
Awesome.
Plus, they've got tons of free study materials online, like practice quizzes and manuals. Super helpful.
Oh, that's really good to know. So to recap, if you want to own firearms in Canada, you got to have the right license. A PL for non-restricted firearms or an RPL for restricted firearms. And of course, you got to pass the appropriate safety courses too.
Right. And it's not just about getting a license, it's about becoming a responsible firearm owner. Understanding how to handle and store firearms safely is really important.
For sure. It's a big responsibility. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, but I'm sure you've still got questions about firearm ownership in Canada.
Oh, definitely. There's so much to learn.
Yeah, can it feel overwhelming at first?
Right. But that's why resources like BC Firearms Academy are so great. They've got all the info you need to get started.
Absolutely. So do your research, ask questions, and make sure you're comfortable with the commitment before you jump in.
Couldn't agree more. Knowledge is key when it comes to firearms.
Well said. All right, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into firearms licensing in Canada. We hope this is giving you a better understanding of what's involved.
And if you're thinking about getting your PAPAL or RPL, remember to check out BC Firearms Academy for all the resources you need.
Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.
See ya!